Story time. Today's little ditty is about a young artist of somewhat moderate acclaim named James Schonegge. Now, our story takes place in a middle-class home in Ohio in the year of our Lord, 1965. We will join them there.
It is a normal weekend. James and his younger brother are watching television together. They are two of three siblings. James is 9, and Richard is 7 years old. Their sister Lisa is an infant, off in the bedroom in her crib. Now James is the oldest of the three and should usually get his way. But Richard is a Capricorn, and there was always a conflict when he was involved, such as it was on this day. Richard wanted to watch wrestling, and James wanted to watch the movie Young Thomas Edison. There was an instant fight over it. Luckily, when it came to blows, their mother Lois intervened. The Thomas Edison movie won out as a choice of programming. Richard was furious and terrorized James throughout the entire movie. James was only 2 years older than Richard, but he fully realized what was happening to his parents. He understood every word as they bickered bitterly. He knew full well what a divorce was and remembered his father's last words. "I will cause you to lose everything, and then I will come back and kill you all." The young artist was despondent and panicked, to say the least. James had already spent some time late at night sitting on the couch with the rifle, waiting for his father. He knew what he must do and was too young to be treated this way. He was traumatized beyond description. His brat of a younger brother was not helping matters one bit. So it was no surprise that when James saw himself in the young Thomas Edison's shoes, it was a burst of hope and inspiration. Now this movie was the first part of a two-movie set. When James saw the second movie, Thomas Edison the Man, he was doubly inspired. James started to draw and create more than ever. He also studied Thomas Edison and the other inventors. He had an eye-opening moment when he learned that Thomas Edison and Henry Ford were close friends. James Sr. did abandon Lois and all three children. But through this and many other tribulations, the one thing that always shone through was James' artwork. His work was his fountain of youth, and it was his healing force. Through the pursuit of art and design, James eventually turned a mostly negative existence into a life worth living. He managed to design automobile conceptions with unique engines and drivetrains capable of fantastic speeds, loudspeakers, bicycle components, and all the art for his mountain biking club. He ventured into all different forms of art, realistic and surrealistic, on his own time. He became a household word for the art production of television and movies. He even designed many futuristic devices such as starships. Each time that James turned on a light, or took a photograph, or listened to music on a phonograph, when he watched a movie, or drove an automobile, it filled his mind. When he created any of his projects or enjoyed any of Edison's creations, he said a silent prayer thanking the maker for the genius that was Thomas Edison. Also, all the great people who assisted Tom with his visionary transformation of the world. It is a fact that this very presentation itself would not be possible without the numerous contributions of Thomas Edison and many others like him. That is just how important his work was and still is to this day. Your very livelihood depends almost entirely upon Mr. Edison's accomplishments. He is the father of modern technology in many industries. We literally owe him our lives and our livelihoods.
Now this combination of raw talent and determination eventually turned into a fairly large body of work for Mr. James Schonegge, and also a fair amount of fame and a substantial income. Now, James knew that he could never begin to fill the shoes or walk in the footsteps of Mr. Thomas Edison. However, he was willing to try for just a few steps, and that was wonderful. With that, I say good night. God bless.